Hey everybody, welcome back.
Hello.
We have one of the better co-hosts in the business right here,
Ah,
Mr.
I'm
Mr.
just
Mike Post.
I just keep a seat warm. That's it.
No, not even. Uh, Welcome to another episode of Vintage and Voltage, where we're going to talk about an epic album tonight. We are going to talk about Led Zeppelin IV.
As close to a perfect album as you can get.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with you 100%. Now, we got some people in the chat. We'll go say hi to them. Make sure we give everybody, time for the usual crowd to shuffle in. And we will go ahead and we'll talk about some rock news, some upcoming tour stuff, and then we'll get into the album. So let's go ahead and
Sounds good.
We'll greet the chat and make sure everybody says hi to each other and so on and so forth. So first off, Nature Dog Realms with the 3 memberships. Thank you, Nature Dog. I know I said thank you earlier, but I wanted to publicly say thank you. You're super awesome. Appreciate you. 6G, thanks for coming in. And Bizarbra, thanks, Busy. Appreciate you. Hey, Glenn, thanks for being here. Sydney Cat, thank you so much for being here. Matthew Pitsley, Jim Maynard in the Card Kitchen. Appreciate you, Jim. Jim was my first subscriber ever, actually.
There you go.
We got Robert Pop Springs coming in. He's now a granddad, so he's busy now. And now he's a babysitter. So, he's a man of many roles. Man of many talents and many roles. You have Zach's Collections. Thanks for being here, Zach. Appreciate it. National Parks Princess. And National Parks Princess is actually on the road. She's staying at a haunted hotel.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. And she's coming in to say hi, so I appreciate that very much. Oh, thank you, Cindy Cat. I appreciate you with your super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're so good to me. Thank you so much, everybody. If you don't know, you're not paying attention, but go check out Cindy Cat's channel, please. And her second channel, My Life Sunny Side Up. She's a great supporter of the channel. And Sticks Cheese Wrestling's here. He's the man. He's the myth. He's the man that made that awesome logo for North of the Boards cards and autographs. Thank you, Sticks.
He is the logo master. No doubt.
Well, I learned a long time ago, Mike. If you don't know how to do something or you suck at it, get someone else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You can only mess around so long until you just say, I'm going to find somebody to do it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I reached a level of mediocrity when it came to graphic design, and the Peter principle dictated I call Sticks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So thanks, Corey. I appreciate you, buddy. You're great. And I got some mail going out to Sticks as well. I got him an awesome Brian Screwlin autograph because he's an awesome guy and he helped me out. So I appreciate that. And anyways, music. So upcoming tours. What do you got for upcoming tours?
Well, yeah, Maiden, he gave me this little project to do and trying to find upcoming tours for 70s and 80s bands. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but I did find some stuff. We've got Iron Maiden doing a North American tour and sold out in seconds, of course.
Seconds. Yeah, I wasn't able to get in.
Yeah, because that's how they made their name, by touring. And you go see a Maiden show, you've seen a Maiden show. That's for sure. What else? Just the usual typical band. Yes is always touring with some formation or another. So they're on tour also pretty much all the time. I just found out, I think it was this morning or last night, that Journey is going on tour again. The Final Escape tour. So they're probably going to wrap it up. And, you think about Journey, how long they've been around. They've been around since the early 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Went through it, Steve Perry's not with them anymore, but this kid they found from the Philippines is absolutely amazing. Can nail it. I'd say 98% of Steve Perry. Nobody's going to hit 100% of Steve Perry in his prime. I saw that the Cure just is releasing an album and they're going to go on tour. Def Leppard, not a stadium tour or anything like that, but they're doing a bunch of fairs and stuff like that during the summer. So it's not a full-fledged tour or something like that. And then there's I saw the MTV cruise, 80s cruise. There's a bunch of different bands on that.
Yeah, that looks
It's hosted.
awesome.
It's hosted by 3 of the original VJs on there. I think it's Mark Goodman. I can't remember the other 2, but the original VJs are going to be there. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Of course, we know Rush is coming on and is touring next summer. But the funny thing about that is, like, they released like 7 dates, that they were going to do, and now it's up to 60 shows. So they had this all in the works. They had this all planned. They had all the venues booked and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So they're actually playing 2 nights in Philly, which I'm very happy about. I went online and I was like, do I pull the trigger on it for nosebleeds for $250? And I was like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And then my boss said he's there, come outside. I got something to show you. I'm like, okay, great. What is this? And he's there. What are you doing on August 23rd? I said, I don't know. August 23rd next year? I said, I know Rush is playing on the 20th. And he's there. Yeah, well, they added another show and I got tickets for us. I was like, whoa.
Oh,
so
sweet. Congrats,
it's going to be his first Rush show. So I'm kind of a little bit more excited for him to see his first Rush show than I am to see my 30th. So I think it'll be pretty awesome.
It's full circle, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'm happy to hear that.
And that's pretty much all that I saw on that. Now it's we can touch on this topic. We were going to do it like every week, but just talking to you right now, I think maybe once a month, because we're just going to be rehashing the same things, all the time. It's kind of like, baseball new releases. It's the same stuff all the time. If something new comes up,
sure,
we'll pop it up and something like that.
Well, yes. And Maddie, I said congrats on the change from Aldi.
Exactly. There you
congrats
go.
On the
Thank you,
buddy. I think that dovetails into a wider sort of rock news, and to dovetail it into a sort of its own sort of thing. But in touring news as well, there is some Kiss news. Kiss decided to do 2 nights, what they called the Kiss Cruise Landlocked tour, or 2 shows. And they just announced yesterday or the day before that Eric Singer will be joining them again for those 2 shows. So it'll be Tommy Thayer, Eric Singer, Gene, and Paul. So it'll be they'll reunite for the first time since 23. Again, not a big deal. But they're going to do 1 acoustic show and 1 electric show. The big thing here is Bruce Kulick is going to join them. So the Revenge lineup of Kiss, the Asylum, Animalize, without Eric Carr, but Bruce Kulick era, he'll be coming to do some songs as well, which will be awesome. Bruce Kulick.
Which one would you rather see, the acoustic or the live? Or
probably the acoustic for me.
Yeah, I would go that way too. Yeah, I'd rather see an acoustic show. Just see how they pull it off. What changes they make to the songs and stuff like that. I think that would be awesome. I love it whenever a band just does a version of their song, they do it acoustically. It's like, wow, that really sounds good.
It does. And what's cool about them is when they used to do the farewell tour, I don't know which iteration you want to talk about, because it was like the Who's farewell tour.
Yeah.
But
well, wait a minute. I saw the first one in 83.
Okay,
that was
so there you go. So there you go. But they used to do for the VIP, they would do, I think it was 6 or 7 acoustic songs and a scaled down setup. Nice. And they would play. And to hear Eric Singer play the drums and the acoustic setup, so much better, because he's all improv, he's all live off the floor. It's not triggered, it's not nothing. It's just him playing, and it's again what 4 guys should be doing, right?
Yeah.
Not playing to tracks or lip syncing or click tracking or whatever triggering. Now, the not so good news right now is that there's some controversy that Gene and Paul withheld some money from Ace Frehley from the last farewell tour to the tune of about $50 million.
Wow.
Merch sales and some royalties from using, the makeup and all of that stuff, because they cut him a deal, right?
Right.
So there's a bit of a backlash now within the Kiss community that they stiffed Ace, and Ace is no longer here. So So again, I don't know if it really matters so much that the man's not alive, but still, I don't know. It just goes to show you the character of some people. The other thing that happened this week was Metallica started their Australian leg of their tour for the first time in 10 years. And the first show was actually interrupted because some fans scaled up the side of one of the PAs, and they had to get the cops in there and the security, and they stopped the show, and it was a big hoopla and kerfuffle.
It's like back in the days of Woodstock.
It was, like I'm all for getting a better seat, but come on now.
Yeah.
Now, there's two really big things that came out here just on Friday was Guns N' Roses suing their former manager, Alan Evan, for breach of an NDA because he wrote a book called Sound and the Fury, sort of a book about his managing rock bands. And Geffen actually asked him to manage GNR because nobody would touch them. Nobody would go near them. They were just a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
Both as a band, a book, and as a professional act, they were just on drugs. It was just crazy. So he wrote part of his book about that. And apparently they said he broke his NDA with them. Now they're suing them. And of course, the Guns N' Roses saga continues again, right?
Wouldn't be another day without something from Guns N' Roses saga.
Right. Hey, Driller, thanks for being here, dude. And one of the big things here, happened this week is this is just coming out, but there's a lawsuit against Spotify from some of the artists. And it's basically saying that Drake's billions of Spotify streams were boosted by bots, therefore artificially inflating his payout in relation to other artists on the platform. So now they're suing Spotify. And there's some talk that it might change how Spotify actually works, how they share revenue, because everybody knows that they don't treat the artists very well.
No.
And so this is going to get big. This might be like, the modern day Napster sort of level of hoopla. And apparently they've been turning their blind eye to artists for years that were getting cheated. Using these schemes, these artificial bots for running streams. Like apparently, they said one of the addresses had streamed Drake's song like 20 billion times in like 2 weeks or something. So wow. There was no way in hell any human would do that. So that's sort of what's going on in the rock world these days. Is just lawsuits and craziness, and well. Kiss is going to reunite. Yay. Iron Maiden's going to go back on tour. Yay. Rush is on tour. Yay. It's a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the reason why we're all here, everyone, now that most people have either come and or left, and if you left, thank you. Make sure you hit the like button first. We're going to talk about Led Zeppelin IV. And I think I'm going to let you sort of start that conversation because you did a bunch of research as well. You want to talk about it?
Well, I think I did the same research you did. We both kind of went to Wikipedia and did it. If you want to start with the production and all that other stuff and the album art and all that, let's start with that. And then I'll go through the track listings and give you my view on Zeppelin IV.
All right. Well, I have a copy, actually 2 copies here, which we're going to show in a minute. But Led Zeppelin, most people know. If you don't know, you've lived under a rock. Was made up of Bonham, Plant, John Paul Jones, Jimmy Page. This was the 4th studio album. And it was released 54 years ago yesterday, in 1971. And it was on Atlantic Records. Now,
I was 5, just about to turn 6.
I wasn't even born yet, And so the catalog number for this was still keeping in line with the other 3 Zeppelin releases with the SD-72, but this was 08. And now the reissues after that they put a K in front, so it was KSD. So if you see a KSD album and some guy's telling you it's original printing, you can say, no, that's a reissue. And it's worth about half the price as an original one. Anyways, silly trivia. But This is the album label with the 4 symbols on it. And you can see it has the Rockefeller address there in the bottom. This is a first printing from 1971. And the symbols represented each member of the band. So you have Page on the front, and then John Paul Jones with the triquetra or whatever it's called, the 3-ring triangle, and then the rings was John Bonham, and then the feather was Robert Plant. So pretty simple stuff. Yeah, I guess you did, Gaza. Thank you, brother.
Congratulations.
Oh, it's going to cost you some money in the end, buddy. Wait, you know how prophetic that is, eh, Gaza? With your girlfriend and that, and you guys hanging out all the time. You careful there. You might have just did yourself. The 2 singles that came off this album was Black Dog, which was backed with Misty Mountain, and that was released December 71, and Rock and Roll, which is backed by 4 Sticks, which is a cool song. Mm-hmm. It doesn't fit the album, but we'll get into that later.
That's the one song. Yeah.
Ed Mater says child support time. Oh, Jesus. Tough crowd tonight, bud. Tough crowd tonight. And then I'm sorry, that just threw me off there. But anyway, it was recorded here at Headley Grange. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, but the Headley Grange sessions, there's all kinds of material from that session. There's a few different sessions there. And I don't know if you know this or not, but they actually used the Rolling Stones mobile recording studio to actually record every song on that record except for Black Dog. Black Dog was recorded at Baker Street in London. Yes, it was kind of a cool thing. And Ian Stewart, who actually helped with Sticky Fingers with Andy Johns, those 2 actually helped engineer and work on this recording through the mobile studio. There, I gotta let my son in. There we go. And then Jimmy Page took the overdubs to Basing Street and mixed them down, and Sunset Studios in LA. And the band didn't like the mix, so he went and redid it through the summer of 71, and then released it November the 8th, 1971. And features a great contribution from a lady named Sandy Denny, who played for a folk group called Fairport Convention. And she sang on Battle of Evermore with Robert Plant. Great song.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit. And then Rock and Roll actually was written with Ian Stewart and John Bonham. They were messing around with a version of Chuck, was it Little Richard's Reelin' and Rockin', and they were just kind of horsing around, and then they came up with Rock and Roll, which is kind of a neat little thing. Yeah, so happened there.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Nez, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you coming in. Now, I did want to talk about the album art a little bit as well. So do you want to do that now, or do you want to do that after?
Oh, let's do that now, and then we'll go. Right. Then we'll go into the track listing.
All right. So I am going to remove this just for a moment. I'm going to put myself on the big screen, and I'm going to show you. See this picture here, this album art. There's a lot of speculation for years about who this man was, if this was just made up, where this picture came from, and all of that. So we're going to talk about who this man is and the significance of this picture. And it's actually quite a little bit of history. So there's that. That was the front cover. Robert Plant actually bought this picture, which was a colorized black and white photo, at an old junk store. And they actually went and put it on a deteriorating, I can't ever say that word, wallpaper, and took the picture of it. And on the back is another building in England. Can't remember the name of it right now because my kids are acting like fools in the next room. And then in the bifold or the gatefold was a parrot photo of a wizard. So, something cool. I found this when I was talking to Mike before the show started. The original liner notes from the album, with all its tobacco stained glory, brown and everything. And you'll see here it's got the 4 symbols on it with the track listing. On the back, it had the lyrics for Stairway to Heaven, which is one of the main tracks in the album. And you can see here it's been folded for 30 years and it's still nice and white where it was folded. So whoever owned this album before I bought it clearly was enjoyed his cigarettes. Anyway, so there's that. So let's show you the original picture. So the man on the photo, this is an original photo. The man is believed to be the name of Lot Long. He was born in Mir in 1823. And at the time, he was a widower. And the guy that took the photo ended up being the one who started one of the film schools, which later became part of Westminster University. So it's quite a famous photo. And it's called the Wilshire Thatcher. It's the official name of the photo. It's a cool, I think it's pretty wild, actually. And one more fact about the cover was it was actually made into a stamp as well, I believe, in 2010. And the UK Mail had made a cool stamp about it. Hey, thanks, Naz.
I think that's what's missing nowadays from covers and album art. There's a lot that's missing now with everything streaming, and you just can't buy an album or anything like that. You look at the, everything's like digital and AI now and all that stuff, and what's real and what's not real. But back then it was real, and you just think about, where did they get this picture? Why did they put this picture on this album cover? And you didn't have the resources back then to kind of to try and figure it out. And then it was just by word of mouth. Somebody heard this from someone, and then it kind of went around, and like, okay, well then I guess that's right. And then to find out that no, what you were thinking was completely wrong. And then you talk to the artist and whoever put the album together that this was the true meaning of the photo and in the album. And then it shines like a whole different light on that album. It gives it new meaning,
It really does. And thanks for being here, Mike and Nez. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sydney Cat, for showing me out on your channel. I really appreciate it. And here's a closer copy of the one with the symbols on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another printing without the symbols.
Yeah. That's the reprint?
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's actually another printing of this that's on lilac purple from the 70s as well.
Never saw that.
Really cool. Yeah, they were really hard to get, and they're really expensive now. But I forgot I even had this one. I was actually listening to this one on the short today, so I actually forgot I had 2 copies of this album.
So I actually had that on an album, and I also have it on CD when the whole CD format came out. But I guess it was my mistake about 15, 20 years ago or something like that. And it's like my record collection was like down in the basement, and Pat's daughter started going through it. She started getting into music and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, whatever ones you want, you can take. Well, that was probably one of them, along with all my Bowie albums and all that other stuff. They kind of went. She left me the Rush album, so I was like, thank you. And then as she's going through it, she's looking at it's like, oh, what is this? Quiet Riot, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and she goes to Pat and goes, wow, Mike was a little headbanger back then, wasn't he? I said, I guess I was. Well, it was the 80s. It was, the early 80s. There's all this different music coming in, exploring all different kinds of stuff. 80s was just a mishmash of all kinds of new music and new sounds coming in with synths and, the new wave and all that other stuff started coming in. So I guess I became very eclectic in the 80s, listening to all the different types of music. So, like my music, it varies all over the place. There are certain bands that I like that you would think, oh wow, how could it's not his genre, but I'm all over the place with music, and maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But my memories of Zeppelin IV, I had a neighbor who had the album. And we listened to it, and it was like, I was blown away, because growing up in my house, it was basically country music and older 50s and 60s music, and I never heard anything like this. And at the time, I guess I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, listening to this album, and it just kind of like really, like, what is this, because I wasn't listening to the radio in 1971 and hearing these on the FM channels. So it was like, every time we would go over, we would put the album on. I would just stare at the album cover, and no pictures of the band or anything like that. I didn't know who they were, what they looked like, or anything like that. And just going through all the songs, and it was just like, it was just kind of like one of my beginnings of my musical journey into, breaking out of what my parents listened to and starting to form my own opinions about music. And the one thing about it is like, when I listen to music, the lyrics are the last things that I listen to. I listen to all the different instruments, and I break the instruments down and all that stuff in my head. And like one time I'll listen to the bass track, and then I'll listen to the drum track, I'll listen to the guitar track, and whatever else is in there, because I find that more intriguing than the lyrics. It's more like the melodies and all that stuff that go into a song. And and Pat would always say to me, she's like, "Oh yeah, I love the lyrics to that song. I don't even know what they are. I listen to music. The music has to catch me. Once the music catches me, then I'll dive into the lyrics and find out what the song's all about. Sometimes I'm right about what the song says, and sometimes I'm wrong. It just depends on the song. Some of them are like straight at you, and others are you really have to think about the song, about the writings. So I guess let's see. I'm going to slow down now. We'll take a look at the chat, see what's going on. So maybe we should go through the track listings.
Let's do that. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about on.
There's a lot to talk about. Yeah. It's going to start off with Black Dog, writers Paige Plant and John Paul Jones. They wrote that song. And just to start off an album, and you hear Plant's voice starting off with "Hey Hey Mama," I was like, okay, what is this? and then all of a sudden, and the band comes in, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then the band stops, and then more lyrics, and then the music starts up again. And then it all combines together. I was like, well, what is this? What kind of style of music is this? I know it's rock, but I've never listened to anything that was like really hard rock before. So I didn't quite get it, and it was just like, as the, album progresses, you start to understand it. I mean, at the time it was, who were the hard rock bands out at that time? I guess Sabbath would be considered hard rock. Metal, the beginning of metal, but this kind of style, and to find out that they had 3 albums before this, it was like, that was like, okay, now this is something I got to take a look at.
The only other band that would even be in that arena would be Purple. That would be the only other one. Yeah. The first incarnation of Purple.
Yeah. When did Purple form? When were they?
68, I think.
They were late 60s. They were late 60s. Yeah. So it was kind of like this new wave of music coming over from Europe, from England,
Yeah,
and
essentially, yeah.
I think that's where the the waves of music came in and started influencing the United
Thanks, Joe.
States, because most of those bands were influenced by the blues, which was from the United States, and then
Thank you, Siggy Cat.
they transformed it into their form of view of blues by adding like a heavier kind of blues music to it. Um, let's see, rock and roll. What can you say about rock and roll? If you're in a band, if you were ever in a band, you played rock and roll. It was one of
Yep.
the first songs that you learned. It was very easy to play on bass. It was like a beginner bass song kind of, with a few fills in there. But you break it down. It's a very basic song, melody wise, but it's in your face. And that was written by all four of them, Page, Plant, Jones, and Bonham. And you said something. Were we talking about it before or after? No, you said something about Little Richard.
Yeah,
Song.
well, Ian Stewart and John Bonham came up with that song, the bass demo of that song when they were jamming "Reeling and Rocking" from Little Richard.
Okay.
Which is another demo they have actually in some of the bootlegs in the Headley Grange Sessions bootlegs. There's some of that tape out there. So
well, you said "Reeling and Rocking." Didn't Chuck Berry do
yep, he did
version of that too?
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
He certainly did.
Yeah.
But that was Black Dog was the first song I ever heard from Led Zeppelin.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think mine was going to be the fourth song on the first side. But before we get to that, we go to a very Tolkien-esque kind of song, The Battle of Evermore, which I would have to say top 3 of this album, maybe top 2 of this album, only because it is so different than the other songs on this album. And it's featuring Sandy Denny, who accompanied Robert Plant singing this song. And it was, I think, John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page are playing the mandolins in this song. So it takes you back to that medieval kind of feel and vibe in there, And when I first heard it, I didn't get it. It's not until the progression through Led Zeppelin and going back to their other songs. Yeah, Battle of Evermore. And going, seeing how they progressed and all, and the way that they progressed, and then hearing this song, this song could have very easily been on Zeppelin III, on their kind of more of an acoustic kind of album. But I think they saved it for this one, and it fits in really nice with the album. It shows their diversity. It's not an album that every song sounds exactly the same. You have to switch it up somewhere.
And they wanted to make sure it was different than Led Zeppelin 3. So that's why there was more heavier, more guitar, more rock and roll kind of feel. Some of those tracks.
Yeah, it was kind of like, Zeppelin 1 was like your starter album for Led Zeppelin. It's like, okay, this is what we can do. Zeppelin 2 was just a great album, And then Zeppelin 3 came out, and like, okay, what are they doing? It was like kind of one of those. It's like, let's do an experiment,
But there's some really good songs on there.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. There are some good songs, but when it came out and you're a Zeppelin fan, you're looking for, more of Zeppelin 2 on Zeppelin 3, and they totally like pulled the rug out from underneath you, so yeah, that's a song that I appreciated later in life and listening to it. All right. So now we're going to get to the big one, the one that everybody knows, Stairway to Heaven, all 8 minutes and 2 seconds of that song. They don't have any writing credits on this one. So, it doesn't, do you see any writing credits on it?
Not from there, but I know Jimmy Page took the writing credit for it.
You took the writing credit for it? Okay. So this song was, if you were alive in the 70s, you heard this song every day, 4 or 5 times on the radio, on FM rock channels. And it was one of those songs where it's, it's kind of like the one song from a band that gets overplayed, just like overplayed to death. I mean, it's a great song, but it needs some time to breathe in between. It's like, playing it over and over and over. There's certain songs by certain bands that it's like, oh, if I hear that song one more time, I'm gonna go insane, even though how great it is. And every time
it used to be the DJ track that they play after midnight, so the DJ can go and have a smoke.
That's the bathroom break or the smoke break or something like that. Yeah, that maybe there were a lot of smokers back then, so that's why it was in heavy rotation. But I remember
into the 80s, into the 80s, they still played it after midnight. I listened to it every night.
Oh yeah. And I remember the one station here, WMMR in Philadelphia, they would do the Philly 500. It was on Memorial Day when they would run the Indianapolis 500. And delivery place there would piss off the employees. That's awesome.
I love
it. Bravado Mike, I will get to that too, because that's the closest I got to him. But I got closer because I had backstage passes. So we'll touch on that in a bit. And they had the Philly 500, and it would be the 500 greatest rock songs, and they would start on Friday at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it would run all the way through to Memorial Day. And every year, it's like, okay, well, we're waiting for Stairway to Heaven. It's not 3, it's not 2. I mean, it would be like what would be up there? It would be Layla would be up there, Freebird would be up there. A bunch of different Beatles songs would be up there. And number one for 15 years in a row was Stairway to Heaven. It was always the number one song on the Philly 500. So yeah, big influence in rock and roll. And, a lot of bands have their Stairway to Heaven, which is like, oh, do you know about this band? Yeah, I like this song. I was like, okay, but do you like the band? Oh no, I just like that song because that's the only song that they've ever heard. So
there's a lot of that with that song.
Yeah.
But that song, like from the flute to the guitar to Bonham's drums coming in halfway through and just absolutely grabbing you by the head, just going, boom.
Well, that's what it was about that song. It offered so much.
That's what drew me in to this album was John Bonham's drumming on this record.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Insane.
Thanks, August. The one thing I hate about is like when I go on Facebook and they start comparing drummers to drummers. It's like, you know what? They were all good in their own way. You just can't compare one to the other. Who was better? Well, he was better at this and this drummer was better at that, but it's just like there's no such thing as who is the best drummer of all time. It's just every drummer has a different type of style. If not, every drummer would sound exactly alike. Really drumming when you saw yes he was. Yes, he was. And Rusted Root opened for him. The Rusted Root opened when you saw them. Which when I first heard Rusted Root, I thought, oh my God, Talking Heads are back. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. Rusted Root was great. Rusted Root was awesome, man. They're a great band.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thundering of the drums on that record, from like rock and roll, the outro of rock and roll and the drums to coming on When the Levee Breaks, which is one of the first songs my drum teacher taught me how to play drums with, was Levee Breaks. And I just always remember that album. I remember because it was the older kids that had this album for me growing up. So I heard Black Dog And I was like, what the hell is this song?
Yeah.
What the hell is this? And then my dad's like, oh, that's Led Zeppelin. Well, Led Zeppelin IV. And just go down into the record section here, down here under the TV, pull that out, put that on. So I did. And I was like, and he's like, if you really want to get a kick out of it, go to the first album. It's over there. And then,
yeah.
And then when my dad got out of records, so my dad had a record shop, I got all of his albums. So I got a lot of this Led Zeppelin stuff from his collection, right? I've always been a fan of this band. Hey, Maverick, thanks for being here. I'll make you blue here in a minute. And thanks, everybody, for coming in. I know I've been greeting you in the chat, but I do appreciate everybody coming in. And shout out to all of you for being great supporters of the channel. But Black Dog, for me, was the first Led Zeppelin song I ever heard. So that's always been one. Rock and Roll, that drum outro right at the end is just, it's so John Bonham. It really is with the Bonzo triplet that, like, you know what I mean? And oh man, like Battle of Evermore is a cool song. I'm like you, I didn't really get it until I was older.
Yeah.
I never skipped it because it was on the vinyl, so I just let it play. But it wasn't my favorite song until I was older. Stairway was one that, again, growing up, I'm a couple of years younger than you, but that was in every grade 7 dance, grade 8 prom. Like, it was always a song that came up for the slow dance, like it was just like that. It's like, no more, please stop. There's other songs on this album.
Yeah.
There's so many other good songs on this record. Please, it's not the Stairway to Heaven record. Please don't call it that.
Yeah.
But like, to me, one of my favorite song on this record is Going to California. But I'll let you get.
We haven't even gotten to side 2 yet.
I know.
We spent 20 minutes on side 1. That's how good this album is. All right, amazing. So let's get to side 2. Misty Mountain Hop. Okay, so that was Page, Plant, and Jones. I call this John Paul Jones song because of the keyboards, because you see the diversity of John Paul Jones. He can play. He's already played bass. He's already played the mandolin, and now he's playing a keyboard. And yeah. And it just this was another song that our band learned only because when we would play like this, we always play my friend's 4th of July party, and a bunch of everybody that by the end of the night everybody's drunk, and we would call them the Screechers, and we bring them up and we would play Misty Mountain Hop, and I still have it on video, and they're screeching all the way through the song, but we didn't have a keyboard, so I filled all those parts in with the bass, and the guitar kind of followed me. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's my biggest memory of Misty Mountain Hop. But it just shows the diversity of this band to not be afraid to throw in other instruments as pretty much the foundation of a song or kind of the lead of a song.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it was different again. It was another departure, another one of these.
Yep.
From the standard Led Zeppelin sound. Hey Ken, thanks for coming in. For me, Misty Mountain Hop was one of my favorite songs from side 2. I thought side 2 was great, man. I played it all the time. I think I want to have like a Lord of the Rings kind of feel too with Misty Mountain a little bit.
It kind of does.
But also, like, being in the Himalayas and drinking tea with the Dalai Lama, like it's, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's definitely an interesting song, and it's a fun song. It's a real fun. It's kind of more like a little bit of an upbeat song for Zeppelin. It's just a bouncy kind of song. All right, we're gonna get to the next one, and you and I kind of in the pre-chat kind of agreed that this song, should it be on this album?
No,
4-6?
no.
It just
I
doesn't sound like it. I mean, it's a good song, but I can't put my finger on the words that I want to say about it. I mean, it's Bonham, doing something that, you don't see many drummers do, actually playing with 4 sticks, two sticks in each hand,
yeah.
playing the song, but a little bit more experimental. Maybe this was a carryover from Zeppelin III, because Zeppelin III seemed to be more of an experimental kind of an album than this.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I think
that's exactly what we're feeling with it.
now I think it could have done very well on Physical Graffiti, as part of, like, again, a double album.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
to me, hats off to Roy Harper could have been in that spot. Brunei or Stomp could have been on that spot. Houses of the Holy could have been there. Like, there's other songs that would have flowed better, in my opinion. But I'm here. I'm just a listener. I'm not
Right.
Jimmy Page, who's producing the record. Again, he had to mix this record twice, right? Because the first mix sucked. So, I don't think it fits, but that's just my opinion. What does the chat? What did the chat think? You guys, do you think 4-6 belongs on Zeppelin 4?
Yeah, Jim says it doesn't fit the vibe, and that's exactly how we
I agree,
in our little pre-show, a half hour before we go on, we kind of went through the album a little bit, and we both agreed that there's just something that's just not right with this song being on this album. A lot of other albums, it would have fit in.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
All right, now
I agree, Ken. Ken C also says he doesn't think it fits. It's a deviation. Like, you have Misty Mountain, which is very thick production and has lots of different sounds in it. It's very experimental, acoustic, and then 4-6 comes up, and it's just like boom, 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 right? And then going to California and then Levy, like, it just doesn't fit the sequence of the order of operations, in my opinion.
Yeah, but now we're going to go with probably
I agree.
Like I say, top 1, 2, 3 songs on any given day on this album, Going to California. It's no doubt just a beautiful acoustic song with the acoustics are there, but this is a Plant song. This is Plant's voice on this, where he can go from the lows of the lowest baritone that he can get. I mean, not deep baritone, but just a calm kind of singing voice, to a soaring, escalating, almost ear-piercing part of the song where it needs to be, where it need, it's just, it's an amazing song. It's an amazing vocal track.
It is. And it's, again, a wonderful acoustic, and it's done in double drop detuning, and it's 5-finger picking, which, again, a lot of people don't realize that Jimmy Page was a master at finger picking the guitar as well, not just playing with the pick. But that was the song I chose for the short today, was Going to California.
There you go. Yeah.
Because it reminds me of a friend of mine, number one. And number two, it's probably one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs, period.
It's, usually a singer will follow the chord progression of a song. His voice will raise and lower with whatever chords they're in.
Exactly. Yes.
This song basically follows the same pattern of music all the way through. The only thing that escalates and de-escalates is Plant's voice. And I think that's what makes this really special. There's no real, big key movements in this song. It's, one kind of like one track going all the way through, but it's just Plant's voice that takes this whole song to a new level. and like that echo kind of chamber when he hits the real high parts is something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think they say he sang that part in the hallway at Headley Grange, and then they had the microphone somewhere up in the banister. It was there's some story behind that. Yes, a little bit, Mike. Yeah, we did. Sort of earlier. We're just kind of going through top down. But
yeah, we're on side 2. We've got one song to go.
Yes, and it's a huge one.
Yes.
It's a massive song, actually.
When the Levee Breaks, Page, Plant, Jones, Bonham, they're all part of this. And Memphis Minnie.
Minnie wrote the song.
Memphis Minnie, wrote the song. And how long ago was this song actually written? I mean, she recorded over 200 songs. This was like one of her biggest songs that was covered. But actually, kind of put the spotlight on Memphis Minnie. Her actual name is Lizzie Douglas, better known as Memphis Minnie. But she was just a blues guitarist and vocalist, deep in the blues. We're talking, Memphis, Tennessee. It's
Delta Blues, Delta Blues, roots music.
Exactly.
And Alan's got the date coming in 1927 or 29. Yeah, you're right around that time.
Okay.
28. Yeah. With Blind Lemon Jefferson and all those guys too. Yeah.
This song is just, it starts out with power and it gets more powerful as it goes through. It kind of, the lyrics kind of remind me of a Johnny Cash song, How High's the Water, Mama, It's 5 feet high and rising, and it kind of reminds me of something like that. Maybe he got some inspiration from this song when he wrote that song. But it starts off powerful and it just completely escalates to, it feels like the rush of water is on that levee when it starts, and it's going to go over, it's going to break the water's going to break the levee. And it's just like the anxiety, you can feel like the anxiety of that, of what's going to happen, what kind of devastation and everything is going to happen. The harmonica, who played the harmonica in that?
Robert Plant.
Plant played the harmonica, you see? So apparently, you have to be a musician to play the harmonica. We talked about that when we were talking about Super.
Yeah, that's what prompted this discussion.
Exactly. Yeah, that's when somebody said when the levee breaks, great songs with harmonicas in there. But it's just it builds up and then it drops off, and crying won't help you, and it drops off to that, and then it builds up again. Wow, what a powerful song.
It's all about the backbeat on that song. The whole thing is about the backbeat, and that's what my drumming teacher when I was a kid taught me. Like, you got to know this song. If you don't know the song, you don't know how to play the song. You don't know how to play any song. So start learning this song.
Just and that shows the full power potential of John Bonham. He was a power drummer, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And it
pulled and pushed and pulled, and he was in the slide part exactly on the bridge exactly.
The slide, exactly.
Yeah, and then that big drum fill right at the end, and then it goes into that second iteration.
I think I'm going to put it on too, Sticks. Especially there's a few songs I want to put on just to go through it again. I didn't have much time this week to prepare because I've got so much going on, but I'm just going from memory from my experiences of that. So Jim Maynard, I noticed that Alan was in the chat saying that the closest he got to seeing Zeppelin was the 94 tour, the Plant and Page tour. And that was my closest experience. My almost closest experience was when they were announcing a tour and they were selling tickets, and Zeppelin was going to play at JFK. And unfortunately, that's when Bonham passed away. So never got a chance to see that. But I did see Plant and Page on the 95 tour, and that is my backstage laminate.
Let's go.
And I got to meet Jimmy Page and Robert. Oh my God, this thing's 30 years old already. Wow. Yeah, that's how time flies. But I got to meet Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. Both Plant was a talker. He could talk, and he would go up and talk to anybody. You know, you just ask him a question, and you know you're there for 5 minutes talking to him, or most of the time he's talking to you. And and then I didn't get to see Page until we were getting ready to leave. And he comes walking down the back of the Spectrum with, you know, a blonde on each arm. I was like, oh my God, you know, it's Jimmy Page, for God's sakes.
Exactly. He's a guitar god.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. And he's not very tall. He's like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah, he's a little guy.
But when you see when the only images we had back then in the 70s and 80s before video and stuff started coming out was pictures. So you didn't know how tall they were. I mean, these guys were like larger than life.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and they were all standing on stools.
Yeah. Apparently they were.
For sure.
But yeah, that was one of the highlights of my lifetime, to actually, you know, shake Robert Plant's hand and just tell him thank you for everything that you did, and the same with to Jimmy Page. It was an amazing night. I'll never forget it. We were probably about 10 rows from the stage, and during the last few songs, we were escorted off to the side. And we got to watch the concert from the side. You know, I got like Jimmy Page is like right there, and you know, guitar down, you know, on the thigh playing. I was like, oh my God, this is like freaking amazing. And then we go backstage and got to meet them. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great night. And of course, stupid me didn't bring a freaking camera, you know.
Well, you don't want to be that guy either, right? You know, like
yeah,
right?
But it's still in here. That's all that matters. I remember every bit about it. You know, it's something I'm going to take to the grave with me. But yeah, Zeppelin IV, just perfection. One of those albums growing up in the 70s and the 80s. I think everybody had. I don't know what I was trying to look for the total sales of this album, but it went let's see how many sales in the United States alone. It went 24 times platinum, so that's 24,000 or 24 million sales right there. The next highest was Canada. It went 2 times diamond with 2 million copies sold. And then the United Kingdom, 1.8 million, 6 times platinum over there. The other ones I'm looking at these high platinum numbers, 9 times platinum in Australia, but that's only 630,000 copies sold. It goes on the amount of people that live in that country, and you know how many they do all the division and stuff like that. And this is how much it needs to be to get a gold album and a platinum album. What's the next highest? We went United Kingdom, Canada, United States. Believe it or not, yeah, Australia, and then after that, Brazil. At 250,000 copies sold. Japan, 200,000 copies sold. South Africa, $150,000 sold. So they don't have the listing of all the albums sold, but with the reissues and everything like that, it's got to be close to, what would you say, 40, 50
500.
million?
Oh, at least 100 million, at least.
You think it's more than
Yeah.
that?
Think
I'm just
about how
going
many
by
times
what this
he's
chart says. Yeah.
how many times he's reissued it, remastered it, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Jim, you're right on the money, man. And we're right on. Yeah, House of the Holy, Physical. We've talked about me and Mike have Deep Purple.
That's my favorite Zeppelin album.
Yeah, Hobbyist. Thanks for being here.
Hey,
I'm
hobby.
thinking Deep Purple is going to be coming up next year soon.
Yeah.
In one of these nights, probably sooner than later. Deep Purple is a huge influence on me. I'm a big fan of that band. All three of the different versions of Deep Purple. Um, yeah, and tape. Hey, Sticks. I still have some of those old bootleg cassettes. I have all kinds of
Wow.
them. I love those things. Hey, Dick, thanks for coming in. You know what's interesting? I don't know if people remember, but we're on an hour earlier than we used to be on Sundays, guys. It's 8 Eastern now. We just wrapped up a really good discussion about the album that's up in 4. You can go check out the replay if you're just coming in late. Mike's got something coming up for Joe Mansman. I just want him to mention before we go. And this week, I don't know what talking tape it's going to be, but last week was Misfits Legacy Brutality. So we can go check that out. So,
Nice.
Mike, what do you got going on for Joe here coming up?
Yeah, we were Joe Mansman has been part of our community. I've known him for over 5 years. Member of my channel, and just jumps in the live streams and
all around great guy
and all that stuff. Yeah, all around great guy. And I think I met him through Jimmy Redbeard probably about 5 years ago or so. And his father was diagnosed with cancer, and medical bills are piling up and all that stuff. And I believe that he lives with his dad in the apartment. But we started doing something. Words were starting to go around about doing a fundraiser or something like that for him. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I jumped in and said, whatever you need. We did a couple of breaks. Raised about $700 for him that I already sent to him. Unfortunately, Joe's father passed away a few days ago. Oh. So now the fundraiser is in full swing. I put a video up on my channel. Let me go there, and I got to go there and copy it. So videos. Let's get that. It's probably going to come up. It's probably going to be volume. There it is. I want to get that off. And we're going to do a fundraiser on Saturday for him. Right now we have, over 100 prizes on the wheel donated. I have an information video. It's about 15 minutes long or so. It shows off a bunch of the stuff that we're giving away, or that are prizes to win on the wheel. Last time we did one of these fundraisers, we did it for Matty at Matt's Midwest Cards. We raised, I guess it was about $2,600 for him for this. Let's see, let me get the chat up. So if you could please, if you would like to, there's the link to the video on my channel. Take a look at it if you're interested in it. We have 4 autographed jerseys on there. We've got all kinds of hobby boxes, blaster boxes, a ton of slabs that are going up there. 2025 big league photos. There's 12 8x10 photos in here. Like I said, over 100 prizes on the wheel. It's going to be $5 a spot. 5 spots for $20. And I always get in these. I buy $100 worth of spots, and last time I won a pretty damn good prize. I got a hobby box of Bob Marley and the Wailers trading cards, and I loved it. And I flat out loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's this weekend.
It's going to be on Saturday. We're going to do pre-sales on my channel. I'll put up notifications there. So just subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, just go check out his channel. It's in the description.
Hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Thursday night, we're going to do a break that's going to be part of the fundraiser. Jeff Shaw usually does a break on Thursday night, but I got a holiday break that's going on. I'm going to offer it to all the people that bought into the last break that supported Joe first. If there's any spots left over, we can sell them. After that, I got 8 blasters of holiday and 3 of the holiday tins. Friday night, after that, we're going to also start selling some spots. Friday night, we're going to sell some more spots. And then Saturday at noon, we'll give it like an hour or so, sell some more spots. But we got a lot of stuff going on. Let's go. You might see my comment on your video.
Hell yeah, Adam.
Oh, okay. Thank you. No, I didn't, Adam. I've been so busy today. It's been very crazy, awesome. But absolutely.
That's awesome, guys.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. I think I'm going to do a little bonus on Friday night. If we can sell 500 spots, and we're going to give away an additional $20 worth of spots to somebody who purchased. We'll put everybody's name on the wheel, and you get an additional 5 spots. But yeah, I don't even know how much has been donated in gifts and prizes and stuff like that. It's probably over $2,000 easily from the card community.
That's what this card community is about.
Yeah. I mean, we help everybody out. So yeah, that's what I got playing this week. Plus, I'm starting a new job, so they throw that on top.
Again, congrats on the new gig, and again, everybody go support this for Joe. Joe's a great guy. He's in everybody's chats. He's always supporting everybody, and he's good people. So next week we'll probably do something Deep Purple-ish, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. And then we're just on the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah.
You know? And when you see the iceberg, you're only seeing what, 20%? There's 80% below the water. So yeah, exactly. we got a long journey, journey, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Me too. I appreciate everybody coming in, and we'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
There we go.
7 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern time.
And we'll see you on Mike's on Saturday.
Sounds great.
Check this out. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you so much, everyone.